Hey everyone, and welcome to Gupchup's webinar on how to use Facebook's customer matching API in your bot. My name is Sohan Maheshwar, and I have with me Shreyans, fellow developer evangelist at Gupchup. So essentially, this webinar is something that will be really useful to brands and businesses or companies that work with brands and businesses, because essentially it describes something that Facebook launched very recently, which you can use to really engage with your customers. Compared to all our other webinars, this one, since it talks about a small feature, it's going to be a slightly shorter webinar, clocking in at about 30 minutes. But Shreyans will also do a demo a little later on how you can actually do customer matching using the Gupchup API. So this is the agenda. I'll talk a little bit about Facebook's customer matching API and how you can use it to engage with your users. Shreyans will talk a little bit about how customer matching works on Gupchup. Specifically how Facebook's customer matching works in Gupchup, and then he will just give you a quick demo on how you can do that. Right. So let's take a look at the current bot ecosystem. As most of you all would know, bots interact with humans today via conversation interfaces on voice and messaging platforms. Right. We're all familiar with the chatbot paradigm and the fact that it's really disrupted a lot of verticals in the ecosystem. Messaging is something that everyone does. WhatsApp just said that they have like more than 1 billion daily active users. Same goes with Facebook Messenger. So messaging is something everyone's doing. So people are really keen on messaging, and as Gartner predicted in their report, by 2020, more than 80% of people will want to interact with the business via text. Just to show that these stats aren't, look inflated, Facebook recently during F8 announced that they have over 100,000 bots and 100,000 developers working on their platform. Right? I think we already have just. Okay. So basically, Facebook Messenger is probably the most used messaging platform when it comes to bots right now. One of the reasons, apart from their great user base, one of the reasons why developers and consumers like using it is because they're frequently listening to both developer needs as well as customer needs. There are a lot of things that, a lot of features that they keep launching. They just launched Facebook Messenger platform version 2.1, again listening to a lot of the market needs, be it both developers and consumers. One of the things that they launched some time ago was customer matching, which essentially what customer matching is, you can connect existing customers to your bot using their phone numbers. What it means is you can look up a user using his or her phone number via the Facebook API. So optionally, you can also use the customer name, right? And what this essentially means is that a lot of businesses have like a bunch of SMS numbers that they were earlier marketing to, right? So how do you get those users onto your chatbot? You as a business have a ton of numbers, mobile numbers on your CRM. You also have a great chatbot out, but how do you get those users on your chatbot? The answer is by using the customer matching API. And what essentially this does is it matches the phone number to a username by sending a message. There are roughly two types of customer matching APIs that Facebook offers. One is called customer matching API, which is a closed beta. You'll have to write to Facebook to get access permission for this. What it essentially does is it allows you to do a customer matching, do that particular operation without the need to send a message, without actually sending a message. There's also customer matching with the send API, which is what is open to the public and which is what we'll be talking about today. So again, just to reiterate, this is how it essentially works. In the first step, the user receives your requests. A lot of you all might know that there's another inbox that works on your Facebook Messenger, and usually message requests from newer people or people not within your network appear there. Right? So when the user opens a message request, he or she sees an option whether to accept or decline that message. If the user clicks decline, of course, he or she doesn't want to talk to your brand or business, so there's nothing much you can do about it. But if a user clicks the accept button and essentially opts into the conversation, a webhook is called by which you get to know this, and you can start engaging with that user. Right? So Facebook unfortunately hasn't launched stats yet on how many companies and brands have tried this and what the conversions are. But I'd wager to say that it's pretty high, given that you're reaching the user's SMS inbox directly, and then you're getting the number, and then from there you're matching and pinging the user on Messenger, where a user would typically reply quite a bit. Right? So there are a few requirements as per Facebook for something like this to work. one, bots have to actually be published. You can't do bots that are in testing. You have to actually publish it on Facebook, and it works only for people who are on. If it isn't published, it works only for people who are admins or developers or testers on the page. Right? The content that you're sending using the phone number should be non-promotional. Of course, there are many gray areas as to what determines a non-promotional and a promotional content. For example, if you're an airline company and you send, once users reach somewhere, you send something to the effect of, here's a hotel you can stay at. That can border on like an advertisement, but it can also be something useful for the user. Right? So that gray area is something we can talk about later. But largely, as a bot maker, as a brand or a business, try not to send any promotional content using this. Also, the content of messages sent has to comply with the same platform policies that apply for subscription messages, which means essentially whenever you get certain level of privileges when you apply for subscription messages, like you can send messages to the user constantly, like things like alerts, news updates, or push notifications, things like that. But under a certain strict policy, given that Facebook will review your bot, etc. So the same compliance issues will apply to your bot right here. There are a couple more requirements. You have to pay a $99 USD fee with the US credit or debit card. That's the important part. I think this is just to sort of make sure that companies that just randomly do spam aren't really, taking advantage of this great feature that Facebook's providing. Secondly, weirdly enough, they insist on having a US-based admin for the page your bot is attached to. This could be one of the admins. It doesn't have to be all the admins. So, there are a few ways you can work around this if you're not a company based out of the US, but it is something Facebook has imposed on us. Also, like I mentioned earlier, all of this is subject to a review process by Facebook itself. They just want to make sure you aren't spamming their users with promotional content or doing something that's slightly shady. Right. So how can you actually engage with customers using customer matching? Like I said earlier, ton of businesses, I think pretty much every business now will have like a CRM with customers' phone numbers. You might use it, to send alerts over SMS or even OTPs, or, you might just take that data for future communication. But all businesses have customers' phone numbers. Currently, what happens is these customers are marketed to via SMS, which is a very sort of, pre-2005 sort of method of marketing to a customer. There are many problems with it. And there are so many better things out there, for example, like a chatbot that you can really engage with your customers. And most of these businesses actually do have chatbots on their Facebook pages or on their Telegram pages or whatever. But unfortunately, you're not really engaging with the same set of consumers then. You're engaging with some people who have liked your Facebook page, whereas you're engaging on SMS with like a bunch of your regular customers. There are a ton of advantages of actually, engaging using a chatbot compared to SMS. First and foremost, bots allow for two-way conversation. SMS is largely one way. You just send a message, hope your users read it. But with bot, you can actually send and receive messages. Get great insights into what the user is saying, what sentiment he or she is feeling. You can re-engage at one point in time. It's just a much better format for engaging with the user. SMS has really low click-through rates. And as we have seen, I'm sure you guys have engaged with bots that have like really good content that keeps you coming back to it for more. Nowadays, maybe a few years ago there might have been problems or concerns about mobile data and access and things like that. But now even in smaller countries or countries where infrastructure might not be the greatest, mobile data is still available almost ubiquitously, right? And it's as good as free. It's very cheap. So those sort of complaints don't exist anymore. And what this is essentially doing is it's creating a great unified sort of experience for your customer, right? So you have a phone number, you might imagine sending something on SMS, then the user goes and logs on to Facebook and gets a completely different sort of messaging on the Facebook Messenger chatbot. But if all of this is connected, you can present a very sort of marketable, a very sort of engaging, unique, and personalized experience for your customer, right? So at the end of the day, every customer feels connected to a brand or business via all of this that as a marketer you would do. Right, so a little bit about how we can use customer matching with the Gupchup platform. Shreyans will give you a short intro to what Gupchup does and how we're looking at things in the bot ecosystem, and then take you through the API. So over to you now, Shreyans. Let me just make him the presenter. Yep. Floor is yours.
All right, thanks. I'm really sorry, guys, once again. So, yeah. So first of all, a little bit about Gupchup. So Gupchup is a bot building platform, and we provide you all sort of infrastructure to develop a bot, host a bot, test a bot, and everything. Plus, it's really easy platform to build a chatbot and deploy it on a server and test it out across more than 20 different messaging channels. So I'm not sure how many of you have attended our previous webinar, but you can look at it. Look at our previous webinar videos and our YouTube channel gupchup.io to know more about our bot, of our platform's bot development capabilities. But right now, we'll just get directly into understanding what how you can utilize the customer matching on our platform. So basically, what we have done is we have actually, we have attach the customer matching API to the send message API which we had. So, but here the context which has to be sent is not dynamic, but it is actually kind of static. The only thing which changes is the phone number with the country code. So if you can look at if you're able to look at my screen, this is the API, which is a post API send message, which will be sending a message from a bot, and it takes two parameters. That is, one is context and one is message. In the context, you can actually send this JSON. You just have to enter your bot name which you have created, and the context ID would be your phone number with your country code. And message would be some sort of introduction message as to who you are as a business or something like that. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So the API returns two response code. One is 200, which means there's a valid match to the number, and the message is sent to the user. But there is also a 400, which then has two variation to it. If you get a 400, and if you look at the response body, there would be a field called code, which will be either 10 or 100. If it is 10, then that means that you're trying, your phone matching access fee is not paid, and you are neither the admin nor the developer or the tester of the app. So you cannot send the end message because you have not opted for customer matching services. The second would be a code with 100, where the API, where Facebook is not able to find the right match of the user. That means the number you're trying to try the matching for is actually not registered with Facebook. Suppose I have not verified my phone number with Facebook, then Facebook will not be able to link your bot with me. So your bot would not be able to utilize the customer matching API and send me a message. So how you can handle the interaction? So whenever, as Sohan mentioned, right, there would be an accept and decline button. So whenever there is an accept button, an opt-in callback event is triggered. If you do not know, opt-in is like a callback, so which is actually generated when the send to messenger button is clicked. I know I can understand there are a lot of terms in it, but they are all correlated. So send to messenger button is the button which you place on your website or your app or anywhere, so that user clicks on it and actually start the interaction with the bot. So you can add an opt-in callback to that particular button, which essentially what it does is it can trigger a callback with certain set of data. So for example, if someone is coming from website or someone is coming from app, then you can have opt-in event with some kind of reference parameter like website and app, so that you know from where the user has come, and you can actually design the flow essentially. If you do not know, if you want to understand more about opt-in events, so we have a documentation of using opt-in plugin on you through Gupchup, as well as you can look for opt-in callback on Facebook's documentation as well. With that, let me move ahead. Yeah, how you can actually handle it with Gupchup. So whenever user clicks on the accept button, an event called bot opt-in event will be triggered, and you can handle it in the event handler of the ID bot builder. So let's get straight to the demo. In the demo, what I'll do is I'll create a bot. I'll create an FB page and app and publish that Gupchup bot to FB, and then we'll see how you can handle it in the event handler and send the message. So let me just go to the gupchup.io. Now let me just log in using my GitHub ID. It's pretty easy to log into Gupchup. You can use Facebook or GitHub account to log in. And once you log in, your account is created with us. You get an API key and everything. So we'll directly jump into my bot section, which holds all the bot which you have been developing with Gupchup. So there are a lot of demo bots that I have. Just to give you a brief introduction, this section contains all the names. This contains the status like published. That means I have published it on one of the messaging channel. Development. Then there is one deployed. Development is like I have not deployed the bot yet on the server. Deployed is like I have deployed it on server. Then we have different type of development tools like flow bot builder, template bot builder, then the ID bot builder. So this contains what type of development it is. And if you're doing through ID bot builder, flow builder, you get access to database and logs and everything. Publish tab contains, you can publish the bot on different messaging channel, like 20 different messaging channel, including Gupchup's web widget as well. So let's go ahead and create a bot. So let's call this as, we'll just call it as customer matching CM demo bot. And we'll select code your bot option. As I mentioned earlier, that we have a lot of development option which you can look through, and we have done a couple of webinars as well on developing a bot on Gupchup, so you can also look for all those videos on our webinar page. So let me just go ahead and create my bot. Yeah. If you want, the webinar page is at the bottom. You can click on this link and access the webinar page. Now let me go into the ID. For now we'll just keep it simple to the ID. So you get a default code as well in the ID as which you can utilize. Now as in the presentation we mentioned that you have to handle the bot opt-in event in event handler. And also if you look at the documentation which we have on our page, it actually gives you a sample code at the end how you can handle it. So this is the documentation you can utilize, and here is the code which you can utilize as well. So let me just go ahead, and instead of this, let me just enter this sample code which was there present. Now what we'll do is we'll create a page called ABC Bank and an app called ABC Bank, and I'm presenting myself as a bank here. So I can say welcome to ABC Bank, and we can just say what would you like to do, and maybe we can add some sort of structured message which Facebook supports. So let me just open the guide of structured message to add kind of quick replies, like I want to have a bot which can do product search, balance inquiry for a bank. It's just an idea. So let me just go ahead to quick replies and get the JSON of quick replies which I can utilize here. So let me just say var opt-in message equals this, and instead of doing this, I'll just put this as a text here. What would you like to do? And in options I can put let's say product search and balance and query. And let me just remove these two options. We'll just send two, and to send that dot string keyfi opt-in message. Now, if you're not aware of what I am trying to do, don't worry, because we have covered everything in our documentation to ID bot builder, where you can go ahead and understand how you can handle conversation, handle HTTP calls, send image, video files, audio files, etc. So you can go through the documentation and you will understand what are the spatial syntax that I have been writing here. So. Okay, bot opt-in event is there. We have created a quick reply which will actually send this message. Now let's go ahead and deploy this code. Right now, we'll go back to our dashboard. Now let me open my Facebook to create a page here. So I'm going to click on this and create a page. And I will also open developer.facebook.com. So I am going to open this category. Now I don't see any category as banking, so let's keep it as, yeah, I don't see. So let me just do like insurance company, and yeah, and name as ABC Bank. Get started. I hope that name is free. Yeah. All right. So ABC Bank is created. Let's go ahead to developer.facebook.com and create a new app. UAGFV8. So let me submit this. Yeah, my app is created. So I'm going to select Messenger to set up. Yeah, it now kind of asked me to set up webhook and everything. So for that, we'll go back to CM demo bot, go to channels to publish. Since you remember, Sohan has mentioned already that it will work for published bot, so I'm going to publish it. So this is how you set up. So I'm going to actually copy this webhook, which is Gupchup's webhook for the bot, in here, and token. This is the token for the bot here, and I'm just going to select everything for now. So for opt-ins, this is really important. Messaging underscore opt-in. So I'm just going to set verify and save. So Facebook verifies the callback URL which we have just set, and then the webhook will be set up. Yeah, now let us go ahead and select the page. So it's ABC Bank. It will ask my permission to access it. Let's give the permission. Okay. And let me copy this. Go ahead and no, I do not want to set up any persistent menu or welcome message right now. So let me just put the token ID here, and I need the ID of the bank, which would be this. So let me put the ID here, and let's go ahead and say submit. Now this credential has been saved successfully. Right. Now what we'll have to do is we'll go back to the dashboard. Now we will be using the API which I just showed in this, right? So we have our bot, we have handled everything, we have published the bot. Now it's time to use this API slash bot name slash message. So let's go to Postman, and I have the API set up already for a different bot. So let me just change the name of the bot. So our bot name is CM demo bot. Let me just copy this and paste it there. And then I'm going to change it in the context as well. Yeah, and the context ID, you can see it has my phone number, which along with the country code. So +91 is country code for India. And let me edit the message as well. I'm the ABC Bank bot. Maybe I can help you with queries, something like that. And I also have my API key in the header. I am not showing that, but as I send this, you can see I received a response 200 and recipient ID, message ID. So now let's go back to Messenger and refresh my Messenger. You can see that I have a new message request from ABC Bank, and I can go ahead and accept this or decline it. So let me just accept this and go back to inbox, because it will appear here, and you can see that the message from event handler has been sent. That means the opt-in event is actually triggered, and we created a if loop where we were looking for a text message called bot opt-in event, and we then were sending this message. So that is actually being triggered. Let me show you the code again. Yeah, so here is the bot opt-in event, and that got triggered, and the quick reply which we wanted to send is actually sent when the user accepted the request. So yeah, that is how the customer matching works. You can go ahead and try it out, and it would be useful for your organization as well. Over to you, Sohan. Thanks. Message API.
Questions, so please do send in any questions that you might have. We already got a couple. We already have a question from Sriram, who says, I have a general question on how to get started in building a bot, and is there any environment available for us to learn and practice? So Sriram, the best way to get started is just go to gupchup.io, click on the documentation section. There are a bunch of documentation and videos that you can see. They explain every step in detail. So, that's the best place to start. If you have any doubts, just write to us at developer@gupchup.io, and we'll be happy to take your questions. Okay, Rajendra asks a question. How is Gupchup different from PubNub message bot? Rajendra, Gupchup, I think, to give you an idea, Gupchup is essentially a bot building platform. What PubNub is it's a data stream. In fact, we have an integration with PubNub where we can get one of our bots to talk to their blogs. Right? So they're two entirely different things. Ours is a platform for anyone to build a chatbot on, whereas PubNub is more about real-time data streams. So if you want to build a chatbot, I'd say Gupchup is the place for you to go. Okay. Cool, thanks. Okay, Vanessa asks a question. How does a developer run the customer matching API? So essentially, Vanessa, like I said earlier, if you are a developer or a tester or an admin on the Facebook page, then you can run the bot and the customer matching API even before it is published, right? Otherwise, the bot has to be published to run.
Yes, Sohan, I'll just show how you can do that. So there is something called roles for your app, and you can go ahead and if you have a big team, you can add administrators, you can add developers, as well as you can add testers. So all those who are added here can actually use the API to test the customer matching API.
Okay, keep the questions coming. We have another question from Zara, who says, can I run this on the Gupchup proxy bot? Good question, Zara. So basically, for those of you who might not be familiar, like Shreyans has displayed, we have a tool called the proxy bot, which essentially helps in testing. So any bot that you create on the Gupchup platform will be ready on the proxy bot immediately, and you can invoke it by just saying proxy followed by the bot name. So even after you write the first line of code on a chatbot created, you can start testing it out on the messaging platform. And the proxy bot exists on Facebook Messenger, it exists on Twitter, Slack, etc. To answer your question, you can't do the customer matching API on the proxy bot because it has to be published. So what I'd advise you is to publish the bot first on Facebook and then use customer matching to figure it out. Okay, any other questions coming through? I don't think so. Just like to, we did say this was a shorter webinar, so I just like to end on the note that just go keep a lookout on our Twitter, which is twitter.com/Gupchup. We'll also get emails about our upcoming webinars. We do one every week. If you have any doubts about bot building, customer matching, or anything else in the bot ecosystem, just drop a mail to developer@gupchup.io, and either Shreyans or I will, happily answer it. Thanks again for logging in at different times of day for different parts of the world, I guess. But thanks a lot for logging in, and see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.